Have you ever been jolted awake at 2 a.m. by a sharp, squeezing pain in your calf? So intense it feels like someone stabbed you? Yeah, I know that feeling. Not just because I'm a Dr. Kevin from Harvard University, but because I've listened to hundreds, even thousands of patients over 50, tired of restless nights, tired of leg cramps, tired of feeling like their body is no longer under their control. A cramp isn't just pain. It's your nervous system, your muscles, whispering to you. Something's missing. I'm exhausted. But here's the good news. You don't always need a pill. Sometimes the simplest medicine is what you eat, right before bed. Today, I want to share with you 10 powerful foods that have helped so many of my patients, from retired soldiers in Florida to 70-year-old grandmas in Texas, relieve their leg cramps naturally and sustainably. No expensive treatments, no complicated routines, just your body finally getting what it needs, and you making a small change each night. Ready? Let's dive in. 1. Mustard. Have you ever been ripped from your sleep in the middle of the night by a pain so sharp it feels like electricity shooting through your calf? I've heard this story too many times, from patients over 50 who thought they'd already faced every kind of pain life could throw at them. But this nighttime leg cramps, it's a different beast. It strikes out of nowhere, sudden, intense, and all you can do is sit up, clutch your leg, breathe fast, and ask yourself, how do I make this stop? And you might not believe this, but sometimes all it takes is a single spoonful of plain yellow mustard. Yeah, the same kind you find in hamburger joints. Sounds strange, right? But this isn't some random folk remedy. There's real science behind it. When you swallow yellow mustard, especially classic types like French's, it triggers a powerful nerve in your body called the vagus nerve. This nerve runs from your brain to your gut and plays a role in regulating your nervous system, including those wild pain signals that fire off during a cramp at 2 a.m. I remember a patient, Robert, 67. He came into my clinic desperate. He'd been waking up 2 to 3 times a night with cramps that no magnesium supplement could fix. But 1 week after starting this simple habit, 1 spoon of mustard before bed, he came back smiling. Doc, he said, I've slept through the night. Every night. Even more fascinating, if you do this consistently, your nervous system, which may be hyperreactive from stress, age, or nutrient imbalance, starts to reset, like gently retraining it to stay calm, balanced. Now, I'm not calling mustard a miracle cure, but sometimes it's the simplest things that bring the most surprising relief. So let me ask you this. If 1 tiny spoonful could give you back a peaceful night, would you be willing to try it? 2. Spinach. If a spoonful of mustard is like flipping a switch to stop the pain, then spinach, the humble leafy green, might be your quiet, long-term defense against leg cramps, starting at the root. I often tell my patients, stopping cramps isn't just about putting out the fire. It's about learning how to prevent the spark. And spinach is a key part of that fire prevention plan. Here's what many people don't realize. After age 50, your body gradually starts running low on 2 essential minerals, magnesium and potassium. They're not just about keeping your heart steady or helping you sleep. They play a huge role in regulating muscle contractions, the very thing causing you to jolt awake in the middle of the night. 1 older patient once told me, Doc, I take magnesium pills every day, but they don't seem to be doing much. So I asked him, do you eat spinach? Cook spinach. Here's the thing. Supplements are convenient, but your body doesn't always absorb them efficiently. Meanwhile, just 1 cup of cooked spinach delivers magnesium in a natural, more absorbable form. And cooking the spinach? It reduces something called oxalates, compounds that can block your body from soaking up those minerals when you eat greens raw. I've seen noticeable results in less than 2 weeks, just by adding steamed or sautéed spinach to dinner. It's not flashy. It's not a miracle. But it works, quietly, consistently, like a gentle stream keeping the soil moist beneath your feet. So let me leave you with this thought. Have you ever felt like your body doesn't bounce back the way it used to? Maybe what you need isn't more pills. Maybe it's more greens. 3. Avocado. After adding spinach to their dinners, many of my patients told me they started to feel like their bodies could breathe easier both literally and figuratively. But if I had to choose one food and call it the conductor of the neuromuscular system, hands down, it would be the avocado. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Avocados are trendy, Instagram famous, loved by the younger crowd. But here's the truth. People over 50 are the ones who actually need avocados the most. Did you know that a single avocado contains 3 times more potassium than a banana? Yes, 3 times. Potassium is critical, not just for steady heartbeats and stable blood pressure, but for preventing those sudden, nighttime muscle cramps that jolt you out of bed. I still remember a study I helped conduct at Stanford. We gave adults over 60 half to 1 avocado per day. Within just 2 weeks, their nighttime cramps dropped by nearly 40%. But that's not all. Avocados are also packed with monounsaturated fats, the good fats your nerves need. Think of it like this. If your nerves are electrical wires, fat is the insulation. Without healthy insulation, the signals get messy, and your muscles might spasm without warning. I'll never forget one patient of mine, Mary, 67. She told me, "I always thought avocados were just for people doing detox smoothies or trendy diets. But turns out, they're the one thing that helped me sleep through the night without that sharp leg pain." Now, she adds avocado to her lunch salad every day, and even gets her husband to join in, turning it into their natural nightly medicine. Have you ever tried avocado in the simplest way? Just mash it, sprinkle with sea salt and a bit of black pepper, spread on toast. It's tasty easy, and maybe the most delicious cramp-fighting vaccine nature ever made. 4 pickle juice. Now, I know what some of you are thinking after hearing about avocados. But what if I get a cramp in the middle of the night? I can't exactly run to the kitchen and start mashing an avocado. Great question. And this is where I reveal my secret midnight weapon, something I keep in my nightstand drawer every night. Pickle juice. Sounds weird, I know. But hear me out. When you're in the middle of a muscle cramp, your calf locked up, toes curling, pain shooting up your leg, you don't need a painkiller. What you need is just 2 ounces of pickle juice. That's barely more than a sip. In fact, one clinical study I worked on showed this. Backhand index pointing right, drinking pickle juice can stop a muscle cramp in just 85 seconds. Almost instantly. How? It's not the salt. It's not the electrolytes. It's the acidity, which triggers a nerve reflex in your mouth that sends a signal to your spinal cord and short-circuits the cramp before it spreads. Still skeptical? I had a patient, Ronald, 72, a retired Marine, living alone. He used to get leg cramps so bad, he'd call 911 at 2 a.m. I gave him a small bottle of pickle juice and told him, "Keep this by your bed. Next time it hits, take 1 sip." 2 weeks later, he came back to my clinic, set the empty bottle on my desk, and smiled. First time in 3 years I slept through the night without screaming in pain. This stuff's a miracle. Of course, don't overdo it. It's not a sports drink. But as I always tell my patients, you can't always prevent the cramp, but you can be smart about how you stop it. So if you're still watching or reading this, I've got a little challenge for you. Test tube next time a cramp hits. Grab some pickle juice. Start a stopwatch, and watch what happens in under 90 seconds. Have you ever tried it? Drop a comment below and tell me your story. 5 sweet potatoes. But hey, let's not just wait around for the pain to show up before we do something. The best strategy is still prevention, and that starts right at dinner. Let me introduce a humble hero that often gets overlooked because it's not flashy or fancy. Sweet potatoes. Yes, I'm talking about that brown, dusty little root, sometimes still with dirt on it. It may not look glamorous, but it could be your leg's best friend when the clock strikes 2 a.m. Here's the deal. Sweet potatoes, especially with the skin on, are loaded with potassium. In fact, 1 medium sweet potato packs almost as much potassium as a whole avocado. But that's not all. They also contain fiber and key vitamins that help regulate your blood sugar. And guess what? Stable blood sugar means calmer nerves. Number 3 a.m. spasms. No sudden wake-ups from a tight, screaming calf. I remember Gloria, 68, sweet as can be. She once told me, "Doc, this is so weird. I'm totally fine during the day, But around 3 in the morning, bam, my leg locks up, and I can't breathe through the pain. I asked her, "What do you eat for dinner?" She said, "White bread and cold cuts mostly." I suggested a simple change. Swap that for a small steamed sweet potato, with a little olive oil and sea salt. 10 days later, she walked into my office with the biggest smile. I slept through the night, for the first time in months. There's science behind this, too. Backhand index pointing right potassium keeps your muscle and nerve cells' electrical balance stable. Backhand index pointing right, and when potassium levels are healthy, your muscle signals stay smooth, preventing cramps before they even begin. So tonight, if you're wondering what to have for dinner, light bulb go with a sweet potato. It's warm, it's comforting, and it's a delicious way to say, "Good night, legs. No cramps tonight." 6. Chia seeds or flax seeds. You know, I get this question from my older patients all the time. "Doctor, is there anything natural I can do to stop waking up with stiff, tight muscles?" I always smile and say, absolutely. And it's so small, it fits on a teaspoon. I'm talking about chia seeds and flax seeds, two tiny powerhouses that can quietly support your muscles and joints as you age. Believe it or not, just one small spoonful a day, stirred into your oatmeal, yogurt, or a glass of warm water, can give your body a gentle dose of natural magnesium, helping your muscles stay relaxed while you sleep. But here's what I really love about these seeds. They're rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Most people don't think about it, but low-level inflammation inside your muscles, the kind you don't feel or see, is one of the silent culprits that makes nighttime leg cramps come back again and again. One of my favorite patients, Ronald, 72 years old, used to get leg cramps 3 or 4 nights a week, especially after long walks. We didn't give him pills. Instead, I told him, start your mornings with a tablespoon of ground flaxseed. Just mix it into your smoothie. 3 weeks later, he came back, shook my hand, and said, "Doctor, I finally sleep through the night. No spasms, no pain, just peace." Science backs this up. Studies show that the omega-3s in chia and flax seeds can reduce muscle inflammation and calm overactive nerves, which means fewer random spasms waking you up from a deep sleep. So don't underestimate the power of the little things. 1 spoonful a day, every day. It might be the simplest, most natural way to keep your legs calm, your muscles soft, and your nights peaceful. 7. Salmon. If there's one food I always recommend to my patients, not to eat a lot, but to eat consistently, it's salmon. It's not just a clean source of protein that helps build stronger muscles. Salmon is also a silent hero when it comes to nerve health and blood circulation, especially after 50, when your nervous and circulatory systems start to slow down a bit. I remember one of my longtime patients, Cheryl, she was 68, once told me, "Doctor, I often get leg cramps, but every time I come back from a beach trip, they seem to disappear." So I asked her, "Did you eat any salmon during those trips?" She smiled and nodded, and I smiled back. You see, salmon isn't just delicious, it's packed with vitamin D3 and omega-3 fatty acids. These are 2 essential nutrients that many older adults are severely low on, especially those who don't get much sun or live in colder regions. Vitamin D3 does more than just help your body absorb calcium. It actually plays a critical role in neuromuscular function, helping to calm overactive muscle responses that lead to cramps. And omega-3s? They make your cell membranes more fluid and flexible, so nerve signals pass through smoothly, without getting stuck or misfiring, which often leads to those sharp, unexpected cramps that wake you up at night. Modern science confirms this. A diet rich in omega-3s can reduce the risk of chronic muscle cramps by up to 54% in older adults, especially when combined with light exercise and proper sleep. Salmon, when chosen wisely and cooked simply, can be a healing food that works from the inside out. You don't need to eat a lot. Just 2 to 3 small portions per week, grilled or steamed, is often enough to nourish your aging nervous system and support that heart that's been working hard for you all these years. 8. Banana plus peanut butter. Now, let me share with you one of my all-time favorite bedtime snacks. It's something many of my patients also love. They've told me, "Doc, it tastes amazing, and it actually works." What is it? 1 banana plus 1 spoonful of peanut butter. Sounds simple, right? But this combo is a small miracle for your muscles and nervous system, especially at night. Let me break it down for you. Bananas are a natural source of potassium, a key mineral that keeps your electrolytes in balance and helps prevent sudden muscle spasms. Peanut butter, when it's the natural kind with no added sugar, is a little powerhouse of magnesium and gentle plant protein. That combo helps calm your nervous system and nourishes your muscles throughout the night. I remember one of my patients, Richard. He was 72. He used to get leg cramps almost every single night around 3 a.m. We tried supplements. We tried massages. Nothing really stuck. But the game changer? He started having 1 slice of banana with a bit of peanut butter about an hour before bed. And that was it. One morning, he came in smiling and said, "Doc, I finally slept through the night. No more twitching legs at 3 a.m. He was sipping tea, legs casually crossed, totally at ease, like cramps had never existed. Crazy, right? It's a tiny snack, but it made a big difference. And the best part? You don't need a fridge. You don't need to cook. It's simple, accessible, and doable every day, which is exactly what we need at our age. No fuss, just real results. So tonight, if you're not sure what light snack to have before bed, try a banana with some peanut butter. Your body might just send you a quiet thank you around 3 a.m. 9. Coconut water, nature's electrolyte boost. You know that feeling after a long, exhausting day. You're sweaty, your legs ache. All you want is to lay down and rest. And finally, you drift off to sleep. But then, bam, a sudden leg cramp hits, yanks you out of bed in pain. You're frustrated, wide awake, and the night's peace is gone. I can't tell you how many older patients have described that exact scenario. And when they do, I usually ask a simple question. Did you drink enough water and electrolytes during the day? Most of them are surprised. They say, "I drink plenty of plain water." But here's the truth. Water alone isn't always enough. When you sweat, whether from hot weather, gardening, or just a walk, you don't just lose water. You lose minerals. And plain water doesn't replace electrolytes like potassium, magnesium, and sodium, which are crucial for your muscles and nerves. That's why I often recommend something incredibly simple and incredibly natural. Backhand index pointing right half a glass of coconut water, about 3 to 4 ounces, before bed. I like to call it nature's 4-drip. Why? Because coconut water naturally contains all 3 key minerals: potassium, sodium, and magnesium. Together, they help restore your electrolyte balance, support nerve function, and prevent those painful cramps. I remember Martha, one of my patients in Texas. She was 68, and every summer, like clockwork, the cramps would come back. One week, I told her to try just half a glass of coconut water at night. A few days later, she called me. Her voice cracked as she said, "Doctor, I finally slept through the night. For the first time in ages, no leg pain. Just peace. No pills. No treatments. Just a little coconut water. And learning to listen to her body." So if you live somewhere with access to fresh coconut water, consider it a gift from nature. If not, even a bottled version from the store, 100% pure, no added sugar, can work wonders. Try it just once. Because maybe, just maybe, that tiny glass of coconut water is the quiet solution your body's been asking for. 10. Greek yogurt, a nighttime secret for calm sleep. Have you ever found yourself asking, "Why do I wake up so often in the middle of the night these days?" Sure, age plays a part, but sometimes it's your body trying to tell you something, softly, but persistently. Even small imbalances, like a dip in calcium, a shift in electrolytes, or an overstimulated nervous system, can turn a peaceful night's rest into a restless cycle of waking and turning. But there's one simple bedtime habit I've shared with many of my older patients. Backhand index pointing right a small bowl of plain Greek yogurt before bed. And no, I'm not talking about sugary fruit-flavored yogurts loaded with additives. I mean real, thick, creamy, unsweetened Greek yogurt, packed with natural calcium and protein. You see, The calcium in yogurt is far more bioavailable than what's found in pills. It doesn't bloat you. It's easy on the stomach. And even more surprising, Greek yogurt is rich in probiotics, the good bacteria that support your gut. A healthier gut means better absorption of minerals like magnesium and potassium, the very nutrients that keep your nerves and muscles calm at night. One patient of mine, a 72-year-old gentleman, once told me, "I used to think yogurt was just for young people, but it turned out to be the secret weapon that helped me sleep again, without the leg cramps." I smiled and told him, even an aging body can relearn how to rest, if we give it the right nourishment. So if you're searching for a light, soothing bedtime snack, one that helps your nervous system, muscles, and sleep, look no further than a humble bowl of Greek yogurt. Brain, and you know what? Caring for your sleep doesn't always require a prescription. Sometimes it begins with something as small as a teaspoon of mustard, a slice of avocado, half a glass of coconut water, or a spoonful of yogurt before bed. Small things, but they can transform the way you sleep and the way you live. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night, curled up in pain from a sudden leg cramp, if you've ever placed your hand on your calf and quietly asked, "Why me?" again, then I want you to remember this. It's not because you're weak. It's because your body is speaking to you, sending a quiet signal that maybe it's time to listen more closely. Turning 50, 60, or even 70 isn't the end of the story. It's a new chapter, one where you get to choose how you want to live. Every sip of coconut water you drink, every spoonful of yogurt you eat, every slice of avocado you add to your dinner, these are not just foods. They are acts of defiance, declarations that say, "I still care about myself." So if anything I've shared today speaks to you, hit that subscribe button, not just to support me, but to remind yourself, health doesn't come from luck. It comes from choice. I'm Dr. Kevin from Harvard University, and I'm here with you for every small step on your journey to a healthier, fuller life. Wishing you a peaceful night and a body that no longer startles awake in pain. Crescent Moon.